Okay, hello, good morning. Yeah, so I've been reflecting as always. I made this presentation for the team. I think I'm gonna upload it to YouTube, but I can like briefly go through it here. And it's kind of the way I got into LLMs and agents is basically that. Like first, it's like ChatGPT, all this talk about agents, LLMs, and then you get function calling, and then like the concept of RAG, which is basically retrieving relevant information from the real world, was kind of a third aspect. Um, and how do you actually build an efficient coding agent? Like a coding agent needs access to the real world, not only by the fact that it should actually update files, but it needs knowledge about the real world, right? If you're going to contribute to a code base, you have to know about the current state of that code base. And that is basically RAG. So LLamaIndex, which we're going to look at here, is kind of flipping it around. They started with RAG. How do you efficiently retrieve relevant knowledge from the real world? Because that's difficult. And then they build like LLMs into that, so you can like ask questions and get responses based on actual knowledge, not just like training data for understanding language, which just has a bunch of hallucinations and side effects of that training data. Um, and then they also built in function calling, so you can actually perform um, not only like queries into knowledge, but also like whatever you want to do. And then they're also leaning into actual agents from there. And I think that's a much, much, much more healthy perspective, because here the LLM is just a tiny, tiny piece of the puzzle. Um, and that's kind of been my journey as well. It's like, no, these LLMs, they are amazing. It's such a cool technology, but if they're actually going to perform a task, there needs to be a shit ton of tooling around them. And that's how I feel like LLamaIndex also has this perspective, which I really like. So the thing I presented was like, given you're in a project, you have this, you express like a user story. A user story is nice to describe both like what you want to implement, but it's also like a good format for validation. So for example, I have like a Firebase Vue project or whatever, and I have tasks already, but now I want to sign in with Google. Maybe I even have authentication. Like, you don't know this, huh? Like, it needs to figure this out, right? So let's say I already have tasks implemented. I also have password and username and password authentication, and this is the user story I'm presenting to the agent. And how is it going to figure out that I actually have a project already? It already has tasks implemented, and we already have authentication, but we're missing Google, right? Um, so what we talk about here is like project context, and how do you give the project context to the agent? So if from the perspective of an LLM, what you would do is like maybe think that, oh, we can put our code base and kind of train a model on our code base, or fine tune a model on our code base. And related information about not just the code itself, but like any PRs, tickets, maybe images, like screenshots from the app, like how does it actually look like, and all this stuff. Just shove it into the LLM. But the problem with that is like the project is constantly changing, so you have to like retrain it all the time. It has a big cost, and it's very difficult to understand the outcome of this. Like, what's the actual result? Because it's mixed with all the existing training data. That also is like coding and issues and screenshots and like whatever. And then you can think that, no, the project context is going to be stuck in the engineer's head. And this is kind of how Copilot really works today. Like, Copilot does have some automated knowledge retrieval, but it's built in a way that the engineer is actually driving the agent forward. It's not even like an agent. It's more like a GPT kind of thing. So it's like the engineer is going in tandem with the agent or the LLM to figure out how to change the code. Maybe even the engineer, it's the person that actually changes the code. It's not even the Copilot doing that. But then you have like RAG-based LLMs or agents, or sorry for confusing the terminology here. But the point is that now the LLM is able to retrieve knowledge from the project context automatically. And this might sound simple, but it's actually very, very difficult. So you need really good tooling for this so that you actually get relevant information from the project context. And when it's able to do that, then you can start talking about like autonomy, that they can do things on their own. So when I think about project context, I think about the actual code in the project. I think about its dependencies, like the specific versions of the dependencies and the documentation of, like, not the nested dependencies, but the actual dependencies used in the code base and the documentation for that specific version. This is also an illusion we have with LLMs. It's that they actually are able to write code for React and Firebase and Vue and whatever. It's just because it's been trained on a lot of code examples. It's not because it magically knows the APIs of these things. So when something changes, it won't know anything about that. Like, LLMs doesn't know about React 19. And they're going to fall short on everything that's new with React 19. They're going to hallucinate more and more and more unless they actually train on React 19 examples. And even then it starts hallucinating, because now the React 19 training data is mixed with the React 17 training data. And it's just going to get more and more unreliable. But if you have knowledge retrieval for your dependencies and the documentation for the dependencies for that specific version, that's what you use to figure out how to produce the code. And then what I think might be relevant is the history of changes. So like any PRs created, commits created, that's more of an abstract thing. It's more about like how it decides how to implement something as opposed to how to write the actual code. I'm not sure how relevant it is, but I think about that when I think about how I work as an engineer. I do have like a historic part in my brain of the project that I use to evaluate how to implement something. But what I think is even more important is interactions with the actual product. So if you think about the web application, the product is the web application. And when you think about how to implement something, you have a lot of knowledge about the output of the code. Like, how do you interact? How do you move into different states? What are the actual different states of the experience that you're about to make a change to? So having the possibility to extract the actual visual states of the product and how to move into those states, I think that's really important knowledge to actually implement something in code. So the way you can think about this is like, when you think about someone efficiently implementing code for a project, that would be like a senior engineer. It's a senior person in the company, and they're senior because they know a lot about the code and the product. They don't know everything, but they have a large like fraction of code and understanding of the dependencies, and they don't even need to look at documentation maybe to understand how to use those dependencies. They have a lot of historic context through conversations and issues and so on. And they've interacted a shit ton with the product. They know by intuition how the product changes its state and how it looks like and how the users interact with it. But then you might have a new person coming to the team, a junior engineer, and they might have the title senior, but they are junior coming into the project because they don't know anything about the code. They don't know which dependencies are being used. Maybe there's a new set of dependencies this engineer has never used before, so they need to read documentation. They haven't been part of any PRs or commits yet, and they haven't even interacted with the product yet. So they lack a lot of context, and this is really what LLMs are. They are this junior engineer coming into the company, has no idea about anything in the project, but they don't, by default, they don't even have a way to retrieve any knowledge, right? So they're basically unusable to generate code for a project autonomously. But then when you think about an agent, and when these agents are based on RAG, they will be able to go in and find relevant files and code for the implementation. They will be able to go in to find what dependencies are related to that implementation and extract documentation for those dependencies related to what they need to do. They would be able to go in and look at any PR historically, any commits, any issues, maybe conversations are part of that. And they would also have access to all the visual states of the application and like the transitions into those different states. How efficient they are at actually extracting relevant information here, that's the insanely tricky part. But fundamentally, I think you need all of these knowledges to be able to actually write any code and have a high degree of success. So this is what we're gonna kind of try to do. It's like we're gonna use LLamaIndex. We're gonna explore these different kinds of RAG solutions and see if we're able to like put something together and then see how that actually helps the agent to do something. Yes, exactly. I don't think there's any more here. Yeah, and then like the final thing is the actual validation. Like, does this actually work the way that was intended? And that's like a whole different problem, especially for web applications, because you actually have to run the dev server. You have to open a browser. You have to actually navigate the browser. Like, not like Devin. Devin is just like URLs and links. It doesn't actually navigate and interact with the browser like we do as humans. So one example of how to do that would be to run a headless browser with Playwright and let an LLM actually use the API of Playwright to actually navigate. No idea how that would actually work, but they have to be able to move into different states of the application and look at the actual result of that. Exactly how that's going to be done, I don't know. But this is a huge thing that's currently not solved. Like, I think we're getting close to concepts that allows you to actually autonomously write code that has a high degree of success. But validating it, that's still going to be a huge challenge, especially for web applications. If you're creating like a API, for example, that's easy, right? Because it's a simpler tool to actually make requests to the API and look at the responses. But actually interacting with a web application, that's like way more tricky. But validation isn't the important thing, most important thing either. It would need to be there to actually have full autonomy to complete a coding task. But you can use a human to actually validate. So you can get like partly there. Yes. So what I thought we'd do is actually we're just gonna just go through. I have used LLamaIndex, but I haven't used it for what we're gonna do here. And they had some recent releases, and so we're just gonna explore it together, really. So first of all, we need let's see, TypeScript, tsnode, tslib, types node. Okay, so let's try yarn and TypeScript. What was the other one? tsnode, and then types node. And now we should be able to. So what I intend to do is we're gonna like just write code for like a command prompt kind of thing, or CLI tool. And then we're gonna have a folder representing our workspace. But first, we're just gonna get things running. So what I think we should also do, I think there's this project called npm inquirer. Isn't that the thing? So we're just gonna do yeah, we're just gonna get LLamaIndex running first, and then we're gonna use LLamaIndex for our first rag, which would be code embeddings. And it's gonna be something very, very simple. So we're basically gonna simplify the hell out of these different rags. So we're just gonna have some simple code. We're gonna have a single dependency, and we're gonna create a documentation by looking at the types in the dependency and also the README. And hopefully that's enough to understand how to use the dependency, because this is a big ass problem in and of itself. It's like, how do you get reliable documentation of the version of the dependency you have? You can't go and browse the web because that's just the latest version, right? So the most reliable thing, like I did some projects or research on this, is like, okay, just go into the dependency, look at the typings, because that holds a lot of information about how to use the dependency. And then many dependencies, they write documentation in the README. So you can also use the README. So a combination of those two is at least a quite reliable source for understanding how to use the dependency. But this is a big problem with JavaScript, is understanding how to use JavaScript dependencies. Because sometimes there aren't any types, there's nothing in the README, there's just a website. And then you would have to figure out where that website is. And you would have to go and figure out how to extract that documentation. So it's very, very difficult to make it 100% reliable. This stuff will never be 100% reliable, but I think you get pretty far with typings and the README, at least from the small amount of testing I did. So what we're going to use Inquirer for is, let's see, is just to have this prompt behavior. So let's do yarn add inquirer. Okay, allow. Oh, that's not a development dependency. That's an actual dependency. My bad. Let's just move you over here. Cool. So now we have that, and maybe we can just copy paste this. So we can start with that. And I think we can do like a function main thing here, which is async. So let's just answer await inquirer prompt. Pass your questions here. Who are you gonna call? Okay, let's do a try catch around this. Well, I guess we don't really need that. Let's just console log the answer. I just want to kind of get this thing running. TS node index. Yeah, exactly. Shouldn't that just work if I do? No, I have to add it globally, right? Okay, so we're, let's do TS node index TS, and we'll do yarn start. Can I just do yarn? No, that's install. So yarn start. Yeah, that didn't work. Though. Oh, interesting. I didn't think it actually did type checking. Seriously? Yeah. Of course, we get straight into ESM issues. Yeah. Oh my god. This is such a mess. TSM. Is that how you do it? No. What's the MJS? Is it TMS? Oh, what TypeScript ESM module extension. I can't believe we're getting stuck in this. I'm so fucking sick and tired of this. Getting TypeScript to run in Node is like, and you can say just use Dino or Ben, but that's experimental with LLamaIndex, and I don't want to. Yeah, that's real fucking stupid. I think. Oh, people are. Why can't I use? Is it TMS, TS? Like you have MJS. Is this MTS? Is it MTS? Oh. Yeah, I think it's MTS. No. Unknown file extension. Node unknown file extension module. Such a type module. Yeah, I should probably have a TS config file. Run TS node ESM. But should I be able to use? I'm so tired of this. I'm probably gonna get so angry at not getting this to run that what was that? Yeah. Then I'm just gonna stop the whole stream and we're not gonna get anything done here. Why don't I have prettier here? I do have prettier. Why doesn't prettier work? Is it prettier format configure? There we go. Let's see. No file extension. What's the unknown file extension? Is it with the ESM flag? It's I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Use TSX. Okay, let's try that. Yeah, let's try TSX. I'm ready for something new because I always have these problems. MPX TSX. Let's see. Okay. Okay, but this is fine, right? This is just an error in the code. So I think I'm happy with that. Did I do something wrong here? Why did it give me an error? You must provide a name parameter. Oh, did I do it wrong? Oh, pass your questions. Like, what's the format of a question? That would be nice. Yeah, exactly. I think maybe I don't have. Does it have typing? Provides the functionality. Why does it accept this? This is wrong. Yeah. And then message. Okay, whatever. Let's try again. Yeah. Christian. Question. Why is it saying question? Oh yeah. Name. Anyways. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just checking. Yeah. Let's see. We're through the hardest part, just getting the code to run. It's crazy. Okay, what we're gonna do now? We're gonna do the interesting things. Now we have Node here. Then we're gonna install the LLamaIndex. And add LLamaIndex. Let's see. I can make it bigger. And then we're gonna do the next thing. Okay, we're gonna use. Oh, interesting. Maybe this is how you get TS Node to run. Oh, TSX. Interesting. Anyways, we're gonna steal this TS config. And then we're gonna steal this as well. I think we're just gonna run it. And then we're gonna change this to read code instead. Oh, interesting. You can just, oh, cool. I didn't know they had that included. And then, yeah, and then we're gonna ask this instead. So let's paste this in here, and then we're gonna take our answer thingy. Let's see. So instead of doing all of this stuff, we're gonna yeah, we're gonna let's see. We're going to say question, and then we're going to ask this question instead. Let's call it query. What you want to query? And then we call that, well, query. And that's the query. And then we should just get the response, right? What did the author do in college? Let's see. Oh, interesting. The requested does not provide an expert name. I can't believe this. This makes me so upset. OpenAI? Is this from... What's my node version? 20. Oh, I can't believe... the What is the problem here? What is the problem? I fucking hate JavaScript. I'm so... let's see. How are we gonna fix this? All right, should I just look at it and curse? It's coming from OpenAI. Is this because of, should I remove this? Or should I keep that? Like, I have a feeling this is more the way I run this. You see that? I can't believe this. What did the author do in college? What did the author do in... How do you spell college? Yeah, of course. College. Look at this. And college author initially studied subjects like linear algebra and physics. Okay, cool. And so now we have that in place. And what we're going to do now is we're going to try to structure data extraction tutorial. No, that's just structured data. Yeah, we don't need function calling yet. We're just gonna... I wanted to try llama parser. If that's the thing. LLamaIndex code rag. I wonder... building on a fusion retriever from... Yeah, I really want to look at this. But for now, I wonder if they have... do they have... Let's see. So they have this thing called llama parser. Is that here? Llama parser. Llama parse. I think you can also use it with like a local But I don't think Llama parts actually supports like code. I looked through the where do I look at embeddings, available embeddings, OpenAI. So it's like from documents, but I think it's just like I think it's just text chunking. Like there's no like chunking by functions or anything like that. It's just using the OpenAI embeddings. But maybe that's fine. Maybe that is fine. So we're just gonna create some logic to go and grab the files we need. And then we're actually gonna create a proper project out of this. Let's call it project. And we're gonna go and Vite create project. We're gonna create a Vite project and we're gonna add Firebase there. Getting started. Scaffolding your first project. Yarn create Vite. Let's try that. Project. I think that's fine. So I think here we kind of want to do dot, I think. So let's just do, let's do React, as I'm a React person. Let's do TypeScript. Look at that, we have it. So now I can do yarn. And then we need, yeah, we do get the git ignore here. That's good, because we're gonna, of course, not go and grab all the... So what's also interesting about retrieving code, like having a RAG for code, what I found playing around with agents, writing code, is that it's just as important to understand the file structure, like the actual nested structure and names of files, as the contents of the files. And that's not really RAG, is it? You kind of want to just give it the full file explorer. Or file structure. But maybe you have a huge ass file structure and that fills up the context. So I'm not sure about that, but I just intuitively know that that structure is actually important. It's like, it's of course not important if you're just going to change the contents of a file. Like you can use code rag and find the file that you should change, right? But what if you need to generate new files? How do you know where to put those files? You need some concept of I'm just gonna ask a colleague something. Let's see. Cool. So let's go and find that tool I was using. I think I can use my own code, VS Code here. I've already implemented something like this, so we can copy paste. So what we want to do, is it called grep? I don't know. But it needs to take into account git ignore. So what is this? I don't think it's that one. Here we are. So I built this thing called workspace. Where are you? Workspace builder. Where's the embedder? Embedder. There you are. Okay, so what I was using is, let's see where the code is. Embedding queue, embedder. Let's see. How did I go and find all the... Yeah, ignore globe. Where are you? Files. Where's that? There we have it. Initialize. Get all file paths. I guess this is really the only thing I need. So let's copy this and then get git ignore globes. Is this from utils? Okay, let's just get all file paths. This is what we want. So let's generate like a utils thing here as well. And you know what? We're just gonna let's do a git ignore here as well. Oh, there it is. We're gonna ignore project, I think. Or no, maybe let's include project. Maybe we should like actually have a source folder here. Move it, package JSON, and let's do utils, and let's figure out what we need. So parse git ignore globes. Okay, let's add that. Git ignore globes. Oh, we need import. Yeah, and then I had some default git ignores. Let's bring that in as well. Yeah, we don't need this one. It's really interesting. And this is going to be like, this RAG isn't like general for any kind of project. You know, like web projects has like some quirks. Like you have these weird timestamp files. You might have minified files in there, lock files, right? There are certain things you really don't want to, that you want to keep in your Git repository, but you don't want to create any embeddings for them. So it's like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that needs to go into consideration. And then we have glob. That's from glob. Let's see. Let's import glob as well. Okay, I think that's it. So now I can pass in the workspace path, and then it should be able to go and find the file. So let's just try to do that. Console.log get all file paths. Is it I guess it's async, or is it? Yeah. So await. How do I get? I guess we want import as path from path, and then we can do path join process. So this is where we are running from, and then project. So that's the workspace path. Oh, it's not funny. SA path. You know what? Before we do that, we're just going to see if we actually have the correct path. So let's see on start. Yeah, project workspace project. Great. And then we can try to do this and see what we get now. Okay, nice. So we're getting the config file, the index file, the readme file. Basically all the files. Yeah, the SVG, like projects has images. Do you want to embed that? It's not code. Well, SVG is arguably code, right? Yeah, let's just keep it, see what happens. Now, a big challenge is that, like, these LLMs, they have a lot of training data on Vue. They understand Vue to some extent, like the structure of the project and everything. And that's a really tricky thing. So when we're evaluating how this actually works, we won't know if it works because we have efficient RAG or if we actually or it's just like part of the training data that makes it seemingly smarter than what it is. That's a huge ass problem. But anyways, so now we have all the file paths. So we're gonna go and we're gonna, didn't I use LLamaIndex for this? Embedder. Minimatch. Yeah, I'm actually using LLamaIndex here. So what we can do, because we don't want to index every time we start the thing. You know what? I think actually gonna keep that web assistant folder name. Let's bring that over as well. And then also this, we're gonna ignore that folder. So let's just call it web assistant. And we're basically gonna copy the rest of the initialization logic for the embedder. Like the thing I implemented there also listens to file changes and keeps the embeddings up to date. Oh, interesting. Initialize. Yeah. So we're gonna store the embeddings in a file. I think we can just copy this. Yeah, and then I'm using the modified time to figure out if the file should update. But I don't think I actually did anything with that. Oh yeah, and then I go in and I actually generate a summary of each file as part of the instead of the code, I give it a summary. It's very interesting. When you want to, the thing is, if you want to write code, new code, you have to read the file. Like you need to have the full file code to actually update the code. You can maybe, like if you do RAG on a section of code, like you have the line number and you have the code and maybe you can update it there. But I truly don't think that's a reliable way to write code or update code. Like you need the full context of the file you're changing. Cool. So yeah, but this is interesting because what I notice is if you actually go in and create a summary of the file, it's better for hits, like because when you have this prompt from the user, it's like it's human language, and then it can find relevance in code, which is also human language. as opposed to taking human language and find relevant code which is not like human language. It has a lot of fluff in it. So I just have this intuition that it actually gives a better result. Because at the end of the day, we don't actually want the code. We just want what file we're gonna look at. And then we're gonna actually read the file and make that part of the context. And then you might say like, whoa, but won't you just fill up a lot of context? Maybe. Depends on what you're gonna do. But yeah, I think we're gonna keep that because it's like an interesting. Yeah, and I'm just using GPT 3.5 for that. Okay, so we actually need OpenAI as well. Yeah, but let's do it. Yarn and oops, not in project. Yarn and OpenAI. Okay, so we're basically just gonna initialize exactly the same way. And we're not gonna use the watcher because we're not actually gonna like change anything. Yeah, let's just copy this and then we're gonna create a file called, maybe we can call it yeah, let's just call it cold rag. And let's make it a class, export class. And I think we need, so since it's async, I think we can call create and then, yeah, let's see, async create. So we can drop all of this stuff since we have it in the other file. But we need our imports. So we need a workspace path here. Import. Get ignored globes. Yeah, we don't actually use that, so that's fine. Verifying embeddings. Oh, we actually have code embeddings. Folder name. Okay, let's keep that one. And then we don't need the state stuff. Workspace path. And then again, okay, we need import fs from node. I don't know what the difference is from like fs and node fs. Oh, I have a queue for this. Okay. Turn. New code rag. We're going to pass the index and all files. Yeah, files to embed. So this is just going to give like both things. I talked about like giving the actual code, but also all the files. So it has like it can ask about what's the file structure. And currently we're just going to give the full. Okay, but we have some things we need here. Why does it say? Oh, sorry, this is fs. Can I do fs promises like this? I can. Get index type. I think that's a util. Get index type. Oh, it's not. Get index type from file path. Yeah, it's if it's a document or it's actual code. Again, this is like, it's very specific. Like web projects uses a lot of markdown, for example. And code extensions coming from utils. And like just the fact that, like in terms of chunking, so you can have chunkers for specific languages, but what about the web world? You have JSX. It's a mix of JavaScript and HTML. How do you efficiently there? I haven't seen any like JSX parsers for embeddings. It's very, very interesting. But that's why I like this concept. Like we're not actually parsing code. We're creating summaries of code, human language summaries, to just find relevant files. And then we'll actually read those files and make those files part of the context. I think it makes sense. At least conceptually, it makes sense. But it seems like we need this queue as well. So I guess we have to copy that as well. Embeddings queue. Let's just copy that chisel over here. Yeah, maybe we should embeddings queue. It's not really like, yeah, we can probably name this something else. It's not really embeddings. Oh, emitter. Where does emitter come from? Where's emitter coming from? Emitter. Oh, did I? Okay. There's also utility. Let's bring that over. Oh, what's wrong here now? Oh, dispose. Where's disposable? Oh, and I even have disposable here. Oh my god. OMG. And these are nice primitives though. And I disposable. Disposable. Okay, embeddings queue needs an emitter. That's actually coming from VS Code, this emitter thing. It's a nice emitter. Okay, well, I think we can call this something else. We can call it like a serial queue, because that's basically what it's doing. It's taking one item at... so I want to avoid... what's it called? When you call the APIs too fast and you get blocked. Serial queue. Let's call it serial queue. And let's rename this to serial queue. And then this code rag. We can just create a queue here. Use serial queue. Oh, did I forget to name it? Oh, export. And then we're gonna do queue. Yeah, and then we need OpenAI. I think we should pass an instance of OpenAI. So we're gonna create an instance of OpenAI here. I think we're just gonna steal some more code. I think the embedder actually gets OpenAI as a param. Am I correct about that? Yes. So I think we new OpenAI. Here we go. So we're just gonna create OpenAI here. And we actually have process.n OpenAI API key. It's there. So now we can, let's see, we're gonna do something more here now. Well, we can remove this SA path. well, let's just keep it, and then we'll return here, and we're gonna code rag will be a new code. Well, it will be code rag dot create. Oh, code rag. Oh, come on. Wait, what happened? Code rag. It should be code rag. Code rag. Oh, async static. Sorry, it should be static. Oh, did you fix it? Thank you. Code rag dot create, and then let's call this workspace path would be that one, so we can pass workspace path in here, but we're also going to pass in OpenAI. So let's fix that. In my pocket. Oh, what's wrong here? Oh, it might be null. Let's just say that it's there. Vector store index. So we're gonna do, let's just say, for now we're just gonna do constructor public index vector store index, and then the other thing was all file path. That's also gonna be public, just for now. And now it should try to create these things from the thingy, and we should get our code rag thing, and then what should happen here is yes, so we have the index, yes, and then it should not do that again. So let's try now to run it. Okay, let's just try it. Probably it breaks. Yeah. Okay, it doesn't have the folder. So it doesn't have. Okay, we have to make sure that we have that web assistant folder. Should we just create it? Let's do that. Web assist. What's it? Dot web. Web assistant. Oh, that wasn't a file. I was gonna create a folder. Web assistant. Okay, let's try again. No valid data found at path. Yeah. So you see this? It's generating the docs. This file contains CSS code, blah, blah, blah. This displays a logo. The logo, yeah, so SVG is interesting because it can actually infer. Like SVG is code. Cool. So now we have our RAG store for code, but it's based on actual human language. So maybe we can try to, yeah, we're gonna try to ask it some stuff about the code base. Like what files? This is the point, right? We're not gonna ask it about code, but we're gonna ask it questions about the code base, and then have references to relevant files to read them. But we're just gonna see if it doesn't do this again, because that should only happen once. Yeah. Great. So now we have our code rag, and we don't have to do this. We don't have to read that file. We don't have to do this. We don't have to do, oh, that was a bit. So our index is now code rag.index. Oh, sorry, this should be await. Code rag should be code rag. I'm never gonna get used to that. So now we should be able to query it. I don't know. Let's try. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, string width is not a function. I think I've seen this. Where's this coming from? Oh wait, this shouldn't be a wait. Maybe that's the problem. No. What the hell is it? It's coming from Inquirer. Wrap and see break lines. Prompt. Wow, this is weird, right? Why is why is Inquirer suddenly breaking? This doesn't make any sense. Inquirer. What the hell? String. What the hell? We were on such a good roll. Like, this is the thing about, we should at least have some understanding, like, as JavaScript developers, this is the shit we have to deal with all the time. I fucking hate it. I really want to learn a different language because I'm so sick and tired of this. But I also feel so incredibly efficient when it works. So I'm in this stalemate, I feel like. But I have a feeling something's going wrong with... But why did it work? Like, what changed? Was it because of the type module thing? What did I change? You know what? I'm gonna find an alternative. Inquirer alternative npm. Oh, you have chalk. That's a good one. Wait. NVM node version. That's weird. Chalk npm chalk. I think that's but that's just styling, right? It's not really waiting for inputs and stuff. Yeah. npm prompt library. Oh, prompt. How many did Inquirer have? Is this 30 million? Yeah, exactly. God damn it. Let me just close the window. Someone's... how are we gonna fix this? String width is not a function. Yeah, it's definitely a fucking ESM issue. For God's sake. How are we gonna fix this? What if I put type module back in here? Now I get a different error. like this is. I'm so fucking sick and tired of this. Okay, well, let's try running TS node as is again. See if that works. And then we have an issue with Inquirer. Is there like an ESM version of Inquirer? Should be able to sort what I need there. Oh my God. The ecosystem is such a bad state. Okay, let's try importing Inquirer then with dynamic import. Inquirer equals awaits import. Okay, let's see if that runs. That doesn't help. Instead, change the require of required in to a dynamic, which is a dynamic import. I don't understand that. Can I just require it? Does that work? Since it's a common JS, or does that just fail? For fuck's sake, I'm so sick and tired of this. I don't know what to do. For fuck's sake. I have to get this out. I'm so fucking sick and tired of this. God damn it. God damn JavaScript and its fucking ecosystem of fucking modules, ESM, CommonJS. I'm sick and tired of it. And I know I'm just yelling and complaining and we need to fix this, and some people are doing it. But I'm so emotionally upset about this. God damn it. I just want to code and do things. But why doesn't this work? What does it say when I... What does it say now? Change the require to a dynamic. I don't do require. I actually yeah, now I'm getting it's not a function. For fuck's sake. Oh, I can't believe this. I just can't believe this. Okay, we have to change to something else. We can't. Oh, fuck's sake. And this is probably not DSM either. Like, this is old. I guess we have to... For fuck's sake. You know, I need some food as well. I'm too upset to continue with this. This fucking sucks. I need some food, and then I'll see if I'm in the mood to actually make this work. And if not, I'm... For fuck's sake. Fucking JavaScript and its fucking module ecosystem. God damn it. I'm so tired of this. It's every time I try to actually just learn something, it feels like fucking Webpack back in the day when Node was just CommonJS and everything kind of just worked. Everything was CommonJS, but then it was fucking Webpack. It never worked. Yeah, I'm gonna try, if I'm in the mood for it, I'm gonna try to move to like just compiling it, do like a node mon kind of thing, watch the files, compile them, and then run the compiled files. Yeah, let's take a break and we'll see if we can get running with this. Ah, this is so fucking annoying. Ah, god damn it. Anyways, hopefully we'll talk later. Bye for now.